everybody, and welcome to Beginner's Tutorial for MC-Prison.com, also known as MunchieMC Prison, the #1 prison server out there. And our prison server is not like any other prison server. I mean, it's similar, but we have things that no other prison server that you're going to find out there has. So to start off, our prison server is fairly unique. Not only is it a prison, but there's a whole other world outside the prison that you can explore. When you first spawn in the prison server, you're going to be placed in the spawn. As you look around, you can see we have D block, C block, B block, and A block is somewhere over there. D being the lowest, A being the highest, and the free rank being the highest or one of the highest ranks you can achieve. And over here you can see we have the spawn mine, which you can mine ores. Ores are pretty much essential on a prison server. You mine them, you can smelt them, you can keep them, you can do all sorts of things, but you can use these to sell to the various shops that you can get money from in order to use your money to buy other things like food, potions, ultra items, or special gear, etc. Now, as we head towards D-Mine, you're going to see all of these signs. Don't pay attention to them. None of them say anything interesting on them. And as you can see over here on the left, we have the cafeteria. And as you can see, this is our lunch lady. I know she's not much to look at, but she's all we could get. And in the cafeteria, we have the kitchen tables, or we have the tables pretty much, where these are special. Because like on any server, you're going to get hungry and you're going to need your food in order to avoid, dying of hunger and starving to death. But if you buy one of these tables when they expire, you can actually not only customize it, but you also do not take hunger if you are at one of these tables, if you're a member of it. And it's really easy to add a member. You just click add member and you can add anyone as a member to the table. And members do not take any hunger as long as you're added to the table. But be careful, tables only last 3 days before they expire. And of course, the lunch lady is the best place to buy food if you do not have a table. If we go further into D block, you can see the bathroom, also known as the loo in Canada, and you can see the drug dealer, where you can buy all sorts of your essential potions that you're going to need for various things, including when you choose to go outside the prison. In the bathroom is also the sinks, where you can wash and repair an item just by right-clicking it twice, and it will repair whatever item you're holding in your hand to be as good as new. And if we enter D block, you're going to see the cells. These are where all of the D cells are, all stretched out across the walls everywhere. Now, most of the cells are taken, but if you walk up to a cell and right-click their door, it will display to you exactly how much time is left before the cell expires. So if you walk up and down the rows looking for a cell and you right click, you'll eventually find one that's either not taken, in which case it'll tell you can rent it, or you'll find one that's expired and you can buy it and take all of the goodies that whoever forgot to pay their rent left behind. Now, if we walk further this way, you're going to see the D mine. This is a very important mine because it's where a lot of special events happen. And prison, guys, is full of events. But you need to be careful because a lot of areas in the prison are marked with wool. Green wool states that it's a non-PvP zone, and in non-PvP zones, you can't really die unless there's a special event going on. Now, inside the PvP zones, you can be killed, so you have to be very careful crossing over, because a lot of people like to camp right here, and they'll try and kill people who are trying to cross into the mine. So what I like to do if there's anyone there, and I don't have any like full diamond or something to protect me, is I'll just wait here, pretend to be AFK, and then I'll just dart across when whoever's standing there is not paying attention. So be sure to be careful about that. But D-Mine is huge. As you can see, there are a ton of ores to be had. And as you go into better and better mines, the ores, or the amount of diamonds, emeralds, and things that sell a lot, will increase. So you'll find even more. And over here, you can see there are various signs at which you can sell. You can right click here to sell all your ores like I just did, or you can sell them individually. Emeralds are worth the most, and coal is worth the least for each ore. Now, as we walk further down, you will run into the log mine, which is pretty much where you want to get wood. That's pretty much all there is to say about the log mine. It's got trees, and yeah, you can do it there. And if you go further past that, you will run into the market. Now, at the market, you can set up special signs in shops to sell goods. There's 9 floors of shops with 10 stalls each, so there's 90 shops altogether, and they start out expensive at the bottom and get cheaper at the top, but you can walk around, and if you find a sign like here saying buying rabbit hide, this sign will say 1:10. That means this person is buying 1 rabbit hide for $10. Now I know what you're thinking. You don't want to have to walk all the way from the market all the way to the beginning or all the way to spawn. And you don't have to. There are a bunch of commands like /spawn, which will take you to spawn, /warp market, which will take you to the market, or you can just do /warp and it will tell you all of the warps, like warp nurse, which, speaking of the nurse, she is where you can buy potions and golden apples and some golden carrots. This is also the location that players respawn in if they die, inside or outside of the prison. And as you can see, there are more tables here as well. Now, if we go to Warp D and go to D-Mine, you can see there are furnaces through another PvP zone where you can rent a furnace by right-clicking it, and it will rent it for 20 minutes, and it only costs $10. And you can smelt your ore here, or when you buy a cell, you can also put furnaces in there and smelt your cell, but until you reach an amount of cash where you can get a cell, these work just as well. But if we head over here, you will see another area, which this area will take you onto the further D-mines. So this will take you to better D-mines, but you will not be allowed to enter these areas until you are the appropriate level. I believe this is the D2 or D3 mine, and this is D3 or D4. But if you go in here, they have better mines that you can also sell for stuff in there. And in some of them, you will also find enchantment tables that get better and better as they go up, along with special NPCs that do certain things. And I'll leave the scout as a surprise. Now that we're back at spawn, I want to show you guys the yard. Now, the yard has several special things about it. For example, this is a huge PvP zone, and if you go into either of these areas, you can fight other people to test your skills, or you can just walk into them and get killed. But out here, you can see the scavenger, and the scavenger watches over the exit to the prison. And if you go down this hallway after buying a prison pass by using the /prison pass command, you will find yourself outside of the map. And it is pretty dangerous. And not gonna lie, you will most likely die if you go out there without the proper gear. But don't worry, because you can also take your friends out there and have them come out and hang out there with you. But be careful, because they might betray you, because you can PvP outside the prison and kill other people, so you gotta be careful. But the scavenger will sell things like ammo, arrows for bows. He'll sell milk, which will remove any negative potion effects you get outside the prison. He'll sell trackers, and he'll sell a jammer, which the jammer will prevent people from tracking you outside the prison, so it's pretty useful. Now, that pretty much covers the basics of what you're going to need to know in order to get started in prison. But there is way more that I haven't covered, like any of the stuff in C, B, or A mines. And it gets crazier, and we haven't even touched upon what it is actually like and what is actually outside of the prison. But I can tell you that there are tons of rare, shiny items outside the prison if you're willing to brave it, and it's a great way to get money for people who have no fear. Now, at our prison, we have only 2 rules: no hacking and no glitching. What that means is no glitch abuse. Finding glitches and reporting them is fine, but if you actually use those glitches to dupe items or scam or cheat or anything like that, you're going to be banned. And we do not unban from prison. We also do not sell unbans for prison at all. However, you'll notice there is no rule for no scamming. And yes, that means you are allowed to scam people on the server. And many people have made a lot of money by scamming people out of their hard-earned and hard-fought items. But keep in mind, if you scam too many people, no one will trust you or buy stuff from you or sell anything to you after a while. So it's a risky business. Anyway, guys, that is all for the beginner tutorial for Prison. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of information if you've never played a Prison server, or if you've never been on the Munchie Prison server, maybe now you'll be willing to come and stop by. As I pretty much covered the basics, I will be doing another more advanced tutorial where I'm going to go outside and show you just what it's like out there, as well as go a little bit more in depth on some of the ultras and super rare items and more of the things that make this Prison server awesome and really unique. But until that time, be sure to smack the like button, come on to the Prison server at mc-prison.com or munchiemc.com, and you can use the IPs in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.